just putting in the topic for today. Okay. While my phone balances precariously on this interesting stand I've built here. Anyway, so today is part 2 of my Mindset Matters, my new Mindset Matters series. I hope to do this kind of like throughout, like indefinitely, really, because mindset's really important. And so I started with fear yesterday, and I gave the example of me having fear of doing lives, and even just doing things on Instagram. But actually, let me rewind a little bit and introduce myself a little bit. My name is Angela. My company is Ovlay, and that's Love in Pig Latin, in case you're not fluent. And my passion is helping new and aspiring entrepreneurs start and run their businesses. So anybody that wants to start their business, I love helping people do that. It's just absolutely what I love doing. So, and one thing that I know that I've struggled with personally is mindset. And so I've been doing this for about 10 years offline, but trying to incorporate it into social media has been difficult for me. Staying consistent with posting on Instagram and Facebook, and doing lives, and trying to, be perfect enough. And so that's what I talked about yesterday. The examples that I use in terms of fear were about myself and my fears of doing this, like my background not being perfect, like they're just blinds, my hair, my makeup, my clothes, etc., etc. So I just said, you know what? Instead of sitting on this any longer, I'm going to push past that fear of not being perfect at all, perfect enough, having things exactly the way I want. I'm just going to do it. And so I even tried to talk myself out of doing this live today. It's, because this is just out of my comfort zone. And even yesterday's live, I had said that I was going to, hey Naomi, whiskey girl, I had said that I was going to post a scripture, and right afterwards I looked it up, and then I was going to just type it up. I was like, well, I'll just do a video since I'm already sitting here, and then I was trying to talk myself out of doing that because I'm just not comfortable doing this. But I pushed through it, and thank you. So yeah, I just decided to talk about it because, like I said, it's just me. It's just what I've personally been dealing with. And instead of acting like I have it all together, which is the image I want to project, I just decided to talk about it and other mindset related topics, in addition to helping people build their business and, all of the practical things that you need to learn to actually, create a great, strong foundation for your business. So, in my live yesterday, I said that I was going to post the live on IGTV. I forgot that IGTV is only for like 10 or 15-minute videos, so I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. So if you click the link in my bio, it's the bottom one, at least right now, YouTube. Just click on it, and then you'll see the video from yesterday, and I'm going to upload all of my Mindset Matters series on YouTube. So, that being said, I'm just going to get into it. I'm just going to go over really quickly what I talked about yesterday, just a brief synopsis. So, I started with the definition of fear, and I just have a notebook that I wrote everything down. And it's the Merriam-Webster dictionary version of fear is an unpleasant, often strong emotion caused by anticipation or awareness of danger. And then I contrasted it with, because I'm Christian, what the Bible says about fear. And so 1 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but He's given us power and love and a sound mind." So just to kind of contrast those things, that And then I've also heard the acronym FEAR, false evidence appearing real. And so a lot of things that we're afraid of, like really, what's the worst that could happen if I have blinds behind me instead of the perfect backdrop? If I just put only concealer under my eyes instead of doing my whole, a whole face of makeup? If my hair isn't freshly, I don't have a fresh twist out or wash and go or whatever, what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. So it's false evidence, like as if that's going to be life-ending, earth-shattering reason for me not to do this. It doesn't make any sense. But we talk to ourselves and build these things up in our minds. And no one has ever died from blinds in the background. I'm just reading it because sometimes it doesn't show up when you post it. The comment was, no one has ever died from blinds in the background. To me, in my mind, that's like, this is like the worst. But I'm living with it. And so anyway, so fear is a lot of times, I'm like, and I said this yesterday, I'm not talking about, things that are to like make you to be cautious in dangerous situations and things like that, but things that just like you're kind of built up in your mind, like blinds being behind me just being like the worst thing ever. That's just stupid. So so the steps that I went over yesterday were, okay, so the first step is write down your fears, because if you write them down, then you kind of think about it and then you realize that that's not even, like I said, writing down, oh, well, I don't have the perfect backdrop, so that means that I can't talk about this topic that I wrote down literally months ago because I don't have the perfect backdrop. It doesn't make sense. So a lot of times if you write it down and you think about it, then it kind of makes you realize how insignificant some of the things you may be afraid of are. And sometimes I use the analogy of, sometimes if you could be thinking something, it could be something that you've only been thinking for a little bit or for a really long time. But as soon as you say it out loud, sometimes you're like, that doesn't even make sense. I can't believe I've been thinking that. So writing it down will kind of help you really see it on paper. And even if you have to say it out loud, to just kind of realize it will help you do a self-assessment to determine if it is really something that you should be fearful of. Number 2, come up with an action plan. So once you write it down, come up with an action plan of how you're going to overcome it. Come up with steps. Break it down into small sections, small chunks. So for you, it might be something larger than going live, something that you're really scared of, like maybe flying in an airplane, or you're scared of heights or something like that. So you might have to do baby steps. But as long as you're working towards it and you're not letting it hold you back, that's the important thing. And so then compare your fears to the power that you have been given from God. So again, like I said, I'm Christian, so that's kind of the way I have increasingly been trying to live my life, is with God at the center. And so whatever that means for you, if you have kids, maybe you could think of it in terms of, would you want your kids to be afraid of something, or something that your kids are afraid of, allow that to hold them back? Whatever it is that you need to kind of hold on to realize that it's just not worth being afraid of. Number 3 is be kind and patient with yourself and love yourself. So the 1 Timothy 1:7 says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. So love in 1 Corinthians 13:4, I think, it says love is patient, love is kind. So if you're loving yourself, you need to be patient with yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. So you may have been dealing with this fear for years. Be patient with yourself. It's going to take you a while to unlearn that behavior. So be patient with yourself. Be kind with yourself. Don't take everything so seriously. And then number 4, be mindful of your thoughts. So again, this is Mindset Matters series. So just realize, or really pay attention to what you're thinking about. I know I personally am like my biggest critic, my biggest enemy really is the things that I think sometimes just are not productive, not constructive, not conducive to, a lot of things, like thinking my thoughts of, my hair has to be a certain way, my outfit, my makeup, the background. That's not conducive to anything productive. So be mindful of your thoughts and not letting yourself think those things. So every time today I try to come up with an excuse for why I shouldn't do this live right now. I said, no, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. And then I even got myself Starbucks. I said like that was going to be like because I get like a caffeine high. It doesn't give me energy, but I just get like in a good mood. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get Starbucks and then I'll be in a better mood and I'll be able to, hopefully at one point, I won't need drugs to be able to pump myself up to do this. But, if that's what you need, just do it. Starbucks isn't gonna, I was going to say Starbucks isn't going to kill you, but maybe I won't say that. Anyway. Number 5, talk to someone if you need to. So whether that's a professional, whether that's someone that's close to you, that knows you really well, that's always been supportive, this is not a good time to try out, their advice. Like if you've gone to them for advice in the past and they've been supportive and drugs are and they've been supportive to you in the past, then that might be someone that you want to talk to. If that's someone that, is just kind of like more of an acquaintance or someone that you like, but you don't really know their thoughts on different things or whatever it is that you're going through, you might not want to talk to them about that specifically. But if you need to see, a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, whatever the case may be, please avail yourself of whatever type of help you need, because we all need help in some area and mindset, whether it's fear, depression, anxiety, joy, whatever it is. Everybody struggles with it at some point to varying degrees, and we need varying degrees of help. So don't let anyone make you feel bad about it. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about needing help. So those were my 5 tips from yesterday. So now I'm going to go over the 5 types of fear. So it can help if you classify your fears, because it can also help you determine how to address them and how to make that action plan. And it can also help you to realize that you might not even be thinking that it's necessarily a fear if you are so used to living with those thoughts in your mind. You might not even realize. And for me, for years, I did not realize that those thoughts, until I said them out loud, someone was like, that's not true. That doesn't make sense. And that, of course, because I've been thinking them for so long, whatever it is, I rejected that opinion because I was like, well, it is because I think it. If you live inside your head so much that you think these things over and over and over again. And so, like I said, writing it down, talking to someone else can give you a lot of perspective. And so classifying the types of fear can help. So the first one is fear of losing control or the unknown. So, for example, how will things change if you achieve your goals? So, you don't know. That's fear of the unknown, or fear of losing control. Like, even if you don't like where you are in life, or there are things that you want to achieve, or you've achieved certain things and now you need new goals and you're kind of in your comfort zone. So how will achieving or striving for stretching yourself affect you? What will that cost you? That is, that can be fear of losing control of your current situation. Will you be able to balance it all? If you add another thing on your plate, will you be able to balance it? So instead of going for it, you just don't because you think you can't, but you won't really know unless you try it. And maybe, you can get some help along the way, but if you don't actually go for it, then you'll never know. What if success doesn't fulfill you the way you hoped it would? So, you always hear about people that say like, oh, I worked so hard. I'm listening to this audiobook right now by, her name is Rachel Hollis, and it's called Girl Wash Your Face. I listen to audiobooks. I love audiobooks. And so I absolutely love the book. And so she was talking about how she has this, media company. I'd never heard of her before. Someone else I follow on Instagram recommended the book, and so I downloaded it. But basically, people that are really, successful, and they say like how hard it is. And so maybe you're thinking, oh, well, I can't handle that. That sounds like, that's really stressful. So you don't try that. You're fearful of success being, not fulfilling you the way it seems like it could. Not that she's saying it doesn't fulfill her, but some people, people say money doesn't make you happy, and building your business doesn't necessarily make you happy. You have to be happy with yourself to begin with. And so what if I do all this work and I get to what it is that I want and I'm not fulfilled anyway? What if things don't go the way I planned? And life rarely goes the way we plan it. So again, that's losing control. What if I, want A, B, C, and D, and then halfway through A, halfway to B, it goes, completely wrong and it doesn't work out. So I'm going to let that fear stop me. So that was fear of losing control, or fear of the unknown. Fear of loss. What if my success alienates me from friends and family? So sometimes, you hear people that do really well, and friends and family members begin to act differently, and maybe jealous, maybe resentful, all of these different reactions that can happen. People that you thought supported you may start, being sarcastic, or, oh, you think you're so good, or you think you're too good, or, who do you think you are? We grew up together, whatever that may be. What if people start treating me differently? What will I have to change or give up to be successful? So what will this require of me? Will I have to wake up earlier? For me, I love my sleep. And I'm like, do I really have to wake up earlier? Do I really have to go to sleep later? Do I really have to not watch as much TV? And usually the answer is yes, yes, yes. And so if you don't want to give up those things, or you don't want to give up time with your family, your kids, your spouse, your significant other, what do you have to give up? Money to, buy whatever tools you need to be successful in your industry. Whatever those things are you willing to part with those things, or temporarily sacrifice those things in order to achieve your goals? What if I can't control every aspect of my business? So, you don't want to look like you don't know what's going on. So you don't want to lose control of your business and not be able to handle it all. I've heard of people that their business grows so fast, like, a quote unquote good problem. Your business grows so fast, and what if you can't handle it? Like for me, like, or for someone, like, say you make jewelry and you're really good at making jewelry, but you're not really good at the finance side. And, you're getting, payments coming in from Venmo and PayPal and, Samcart and all these different things, but maybe they're not, you don't even have time to go and make sure they get your bank account, or people are asking for returns, or you're not sending them back on time, and so then they're reporting you to PayPal or whatever. You can't handle the admin side of your business. What if you look like you're out of control and don't know what you're doing? So those types of things, fear of loss of control, can keep you from doing what you need to do. Fear of rejection. What if the dream person or business won't collab with me? So if you may look up to someone in your industry, or someone that has that works in an industry that is complementary to yours, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I could just work with Oprah, that would make my life. Well, I'll go a little bit lower than Oprah. I can't even think of anybody, but like whatever that it means to you. If there's someone that you're like, oh my gosh, if I could collaborate with this person, that would just make my life, my business, my dream, come true. What if they won't collab with me? What if people think I look or sound stupid? And again, this was personally for me, like with going live, I just like, I just don't want to do it. What are people going to say? What are the comments going to be? What if people think that so-and-so that does the same thing I do does a better job than me? So for most businesses, it's kind of like, there's nothing new under the sun. Usually it's just a different variation of the same type of thing. Everybody brings their own personality and style and flair to their business, but there are a lot of people doing very similar things to you. And so what happens when, and it's going to happen, obviously, somebody says, oh, so and so does that better than you. Like, who do you think you are? You can't. She does this so much better. He does it so much better. How will you handle that? And so that's an example of fear of rejection. And then fear of failure. What if I'm not smart enough, good enough, pretty enough? What if that causes me to fail? Sorry about that. So what if, social media is a lot about what looks good, what's pretty, what's the hottest, youngest, newest thing? What if that causes my business to fail? What if I'm not able to keep up with the demands of my business? Again, that's kind of similar to what I talked about. But what if that causes you to fail? What if no one buys my products? What if you put your heart and soul into your business? This is your baby. This is what you love. This is your passion. And nobody shows up. Nobody buys anything. Nobody watches your lives, likes your videos or your posts, or comes to your conference, or buys your book, or whatever it is. What if nobody comes? What if I can't rise to the occasion? What if I am not good enough? What if I really just can't do it? What if this dream is just too big? So the comment is, the pretty enough thing is a struggle for me. Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people probably struggle with it. I really think, it's kind of irritating sometimes when you see somebody that maybe like on TV or something that says, well, if I could just lose that last 2 pounds, or, something like that. You're like, really, 2 pounds? Really? You just gotta lose that last 2 pounds. Like, that's what's holding you back in life, or whatever. Or not necessarily even holding them back in life, but they just, everybody feels like, I think to some extent, they're not good enough. Or else even people that we might look to and think that they're just stunningly beautiful, handsome or whatever, they keep tweaking. You look at them and you're like, something looks different about their face or their body or whatever. It's like, I think everybody to a certain extent feels like they're not good enough. Even people that are, these influencer accounts that have have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're all over the, traveling and taking lots of pictures. I think that a lot of people struggle with it. And, again, that's something that I didn't want to do this for, because I'm just like, I prefer not to be on camera. Even though I love tech and I love, helping people with their business. So this is part of it. I like it for a personal side, but not for this. But anyway, getting a little bit off the topic, but what I have personally also struggled with is my age. I just turned 36 in July, and I've always felt, literally since I was 23, I felt old. For the last 13 years, I have felt old. Too old to do everything. Too old to start a business. Too old, like, oh, look at all these the 30 under 30, or, and I was under 30, but I'm like, but I'm never going to be on that list, or, or now that I'm over 30, I'm obviously never going to be on that list, So what I have really started to think about personally is that, again, like I said, I'm Christian, and so I try to see things, from the perspective of my relationship with God. And so God made me exactly the way he wanted me to be. The right, like, for people of color, this might be something like the right skin tone. I'm the exact skin tone that he wanted me to be. My hair is the exact texture he wants it to be. I'm the perfect height. Not only am I the right skin tone, I'm the perfect skin tone, because that's the skin tone that he wanted me to be. My hair is the perfect texture, because that's what he wanted me to be. I'm the perfect height, 5'7", because that's the height that he wants me to be. I'm the perfect age, because he wanted me to be born in 1982, so that's when I was born. And even with, our society is really obsessed with young, 19, 20, like that's the age to be, 19 or 20. But everyone, you're only that age for a few years. I mean, at some point, everybody, if you keep living, you're going to get older. And so it, I posted yesterday a post that said, "This is my time," because a lot of times I feel like, oh, I've missed the boat. I'm too old for this. I'm too old for that. But no, this is my time on Earth. So the whole time, whether you're 36, 26, 96, 106, this is your time on Earth. So this is the way that God wanted me to look. This is the age that He wants me to be. This is the height that He wants me to be. This is what it is. And so, not saying that everybody can't work on something like, exfoliate and do hair masks and things like that to take care of yourself and to enhance yourself. You like makeup or eyelash extensions or whatever the case may be to feel like, pretty or whatever that is. But I think that it's so subjective. It really is really subjective. And there are people that I see that I personally wouldn't think that they're pretty, because everybody has their own opinion. Like I said, beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder. There are people that I personally would not think are pretty. And then you look at their spouse or their significant other, and you're like, wow, how did she get him? But he looks at her like she's the most beautiful woman in the world and adores her. Because that is that's from his perspective. And there are guys that I think that are just like, I'll just go ahead and say Jason Momoa. And then there are people that are like, oh, like Jason Momoa. And I'm like, how can you not think that he's attractive? So spending time thinking that you aren't attractive really is not productive. It's really hard, because I think every society, but definitely our society is focused on, like I said, youth, beauty, all of those things. So it's hard to not focus on those things. But I think, it's a matter of whatever is somehow being comfortable in your own skin. And not really, you have to, I want to get to that place where people that say that they literally don't care what other people think about them. I'm so not there, and I want to get there. But anyway, I've gone off the topic a little bit, but anyway, so that was fear of failure. So if you are fearful that you're not attractive enough to do whatever it is that you are wanting to do, because it's a shame, but a lot of people do make judgments based on appearance. And even if your industry has nothing to do with looks per se, people make judgments, and so it is hard. It can be hard, I think, especially for women, to overcome that. But it's not something that, with work, that with work that should hold you back. And I know for you specifically, Whiskey Girl, if that's something that you deal with, you definitely, as far as I can see, don't let it hold you back. You keep doing what you're doing, and you still go out there and you still perform and everything. And so the last one is fear of success. And I saw this on, I can't remember, somebody's page talking about fear of succeeding or being successful. And I was like, who would be fearful of succeeding? And then I really thought of it, and it is really true. So, and a lot of these things kind of in a way overlap or are very similar to each other. But so what do I need to change about myself to become the person I need to be to have a successful business? So again, similar to like getting up earlier, staying up later, spending money, training yourself, maybe going back to school or taking courses or whatever. What do I have to change for myself? And most people, want to kind of stay where they are at because it's comfortable, it well. But what will this require of me? So What will my success require of me? Am I going to have to go on more business trips? Am I going to have to leave my family? Am I going to have to maybe miss some school plays or not be home to eat dinner with my family every night? Or, whatever that may be. What are you afraid of? How will having more money, clients, followers change me? And so sometimes people think, nothing would ever change me. I'm always going to be the same person that's from wherever. I'm going to be down to earth. But sometimes people do change. If you maybe something you do goes viral and you get all this attention all of a sudden and people start really caring, other people outside that you don't personally know start caring about what you're doing and you become Instagram famous or whatever. How will that change me? Am I going to be the same person? Who is that going to be? Who is that going to bring into my life? And again, that kind of goes back to fear of losing control, because now you have other people that are going to be coming in. How do you incorporate that into your life? And who will you have to become? Are you going to have to fire some people if you have a big group, a big team or something? What is that going to be like? Are you going to be able to manage people? Are you going to be able to deal with what is it called? Constructive criticism? Are you going to be able to deal with, like I was saying about firing people that might be close to you if they can't grow with you? What is that going to do? What if I have to work longer hours than I like to? Again, I just went over that. What if I have to spend more time away from my family? I just went over that again. So those are the 5 types of fear. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss, and fear of losing control / the unknown. So when you're writing down the things that you are fearful of, it might help to categorize them, because you may attack them or address them when you're coming up with your plan on how to deal with your fears. You might address them differently based on the type of fear that they are. So that's just, a tactic to deal with it, because, because you don't want it to hold you back. So, if you are starting a new business and you aren't going to let fear hold you back and you're just going to go ahead and step out there, I have an ebook that says it's a new business checklist. It is on the link in my bio. You can click that, you can download it, and it'll just walk you through the first few things that you need to do, for several things you need to do to get your business started. I also have a free 30-minute consultation if you want to talk about, where you are with getting your business off the ground. And you can click the link in my bio and sign up for a free consultation, and we can talk. Until then, I will see you later.